This video series was initially intended to take the viewer on a bizarre trip from the symbolism of the Canadian rapper Drake to the meaning of the Denver airport conspiracy. There was too much material, though, to quickly connect these seemingly unconnectable subjects. Now that much of the information has been presented in the first 4 videos, we will explore how Drake's symbolism can be connected to the symbolism at Denver Airport. First of all, the name Drake itself is significant. A drake is a male duck, and using gematria the word Drake equals 33. This is a great way to combine 33 and duck symbolism. Drake uses gematria in other ways, and he has a fairly open affinity for the number 6. On his CD called If You're Reading This It's Too Late, there are songs called 6 God, 6 Man, You and the 6, and 6 p.m. in New York. Drake refers to his hometown of Toronto as the 6, supposedly because the area code 416 ends in 6. He has a single called Summer 16, the cover of which shows an eye inside a version of the 666 hand sign. 16 has the word 6 in it, but it also has a gematria value of 33. In previous videos, we have seen that the letters F, O, and X are equal to 6. We must add another 6 letter to understand the meaning of Drake's record label. In Hebrew gematria, the letter V, or Vav or Vav, is equal to 6, and they use V equals 6 quite often. See the occult corporate logos video on this channel for examples. Drake's record label is called October's Very Own, which he abbreviates OVO. O and V are used to equal 6, so OVO is 666. And why is it October's Very Own? Because October equals 33. It could be called 33's Very Own. The singer The Weeknd has a record label called XO. XO equals 66, and Beyonce has a song called XO. Drake and The Weeknd got together for a group project. They called it OVOXO, which is essentially 66666. Drake uses owl symbolism. In the Royal Arch of Enoch, 32nd degree Freemason Robert Sullivan writes, the goddess Minerva is often depicted accompanied by an owl, a symbol of wisdom and her sacred totem. An owl is a symbol of wisdom because it can see things in the dark, the implication being that the initiated can see things that the profane and vulgar cannot. As such, Minerva is an important icon of secret societies. This further provides explanation why the owl, associated with Minerva's appearance on the California state seal, is venerated yearly in July at the Bohemian Society, also known as Bohemian Grove, located in Sonoma County, California during the cremation of care ritual/Midsummer Fire Festival. Drake brings together most of the important symbols we have seen, like 33, 666, 66, the all-seeing eye, and the duck, which is a likely symbol of the goddess Isis, who is also Sirius. The owl can be related to the goddess as well. How is Drake's symbolism related to Denver Airport? Video 2 of this series showed that they have made multiple apocalyptic movies filled with symbolism, and how this might be because global disasters are an inevitable part of the cycle of precession, the Great Year, or the 24,000-year-long circle of Zodiac Ages. Many in the conspiracy community know about the bizarre murals, the creepy giant Bronco statue, the Masonic plaque, and other unusual symbolism at Denver Airport. Looking at the Denver Airport murals, one can see some images of violence and death along with pictures of peace and love. The Masonic plaque reads New World Airport Commission and says a time capsule beneath this stone contains messages and memorabilia to the people of Colorado in 2094. The numbers and the date March 19, 1994 add up to 33. There is a creepy blue Bronco statue outside the airport. This is almost certainly meant to represent one of the 4 horses of the apocalypse. There are statues around the world depicting the 4 horses pulling Apollo or the goddess. Apollo is pulled by 4 horses on the ceiling of Donald Trump's penthouse in Trump Tower. Like the 4 beasts, the 4 horses or horsemen represent the 4 seasons of the cycle of history. The reason they are associated with the apocalypse is likely because disasters are an inevitable part of the cycle. Some have also heard the reason they built a new unnecessary airport in Denver was so they could include large underground bases beneath the facility. Denver is a mile-high city, and it is close to the center of the continental United States, far from the Atlantic and Pacific coastlines. It would be the perfect place to attempt to keep safe in the event of a massive tsunami. Plus, as an airport, it would also be ideal for the elites of the country, or the world, to fly in when the astronomical threat is identified. The murals depict disasters and death, because humanity will experience horrific times when biblical disasters return. They show peace and love because after these disasters, humanity will recover and continue to rise towards the next golden age. Peace and love will return. One mural shows people gathering around a blossoming rainbow-colored flower. The 7 chakras are often related to the 7 colors of the rainbow. Earlier videos contained the argument that during the golden age of the cycle, humanity blossoms into a being of higher consciousness when the kundalini rises up the 33 vertebrae of the spine, activating the chakras and the all-seeing eye. This mural may be depicting this blossoming of humanity, which would likely bring an age of peace and love. Drake's symbolism includes 33, 666, and the duck. We know 33 is the number of vertebrae in the spine. 666 refers to the length and years of one decan, or 1/3 of a zodiac age. In this sense it is related to the cycle of zodiac ages, and it is at certain points of this cycle that disasters return. The duck is Isis, who is also Sirius, which is the occult driver of the precession of the equinoxes. This is because our Sun and Sirius are in a binary star system with each other. As our second sun approaches, it may trigger global disasters before a new equilibrium is reached. Then, this new sun will cause humanity to blossom, just as our sun causes flowers to bloom during summertime. In the January 30, 2017 issue of The New Yorker, there is an article by Evan Osnos called Doomsday Prep for the Super Rich. The subtitle reads, "Some of the wealthiest people in America, in Silicon Valley, New York, and beyond, are getting ready for the crack-up of civilization." The article begins by saying Steve Huffman, the 33-year-old founder of Reddit, hopes to improve his odds of surviving a disaster, whether natural or man-made. There is the obvious mentioning of his age of 33 in this very first sentence of the article, but the names Huffman and Reddit are mentioned as well, and they both equal 33. There are multiple significant 33 names and words in this article. Later it talks about Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn and a prominent investor. It says he recalls telling a friend that he was thinking of visiting New Zealand. New Zealand, he discovered, is a favored refuge in the event of a cataclysm. Hoffman said saying you're buying a house in New Zealand is kind of a wink-wink say no more. Once you've done the Masonic handshake they'll be like, oh, you know, I have a broker who sells old ICBM silos, and they're nuclear hardened, and they kind of look like they would be interesting to live in. This article about elite doomsday preparations includes 33 and Masonic references. Video 2 talked about Beyonce's video OVOXO, which hints at the wheel of history, the turning of our lights off, and the hopeless gazing, or blindness, of the masses to what is really going on. It also starts though with a strange audio sample from NASA. This brings up an important point. The full name of NASA is the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. If you add up the letters of this name in reverse gematria, you get 666. This is without using the times 6 method to produce higher numerical values. If you work enough with gematria, You will find that this is one of the very few legitimate terms to equal 666 without multiplication. This is important. The name is also redundant in that traveling to space of course implies that you will be dealing with aeronautics. The use of redundant or unusual words is often required to produce significant gematria values, and it is likely that this is what has been done here. There are plenty of conspiracy theories regarding NASA, none of which will be addressed here, but NASA has also used a lot of Masonic symbolism. It may be that some of the suspicious activities of NASA have been the result of the covering up their real objectives. If the elites of the world have been concerned with coming astronomical threats, they may have created an organization to monitor space and any threats coming our way. These threats would be related to the cycle of history, and this might explain why they made NASA equal to 666. The last video mentioned Mo's video for the song Kamikaze. It contains much of the important symbolism. There is a goddess, 2 towers, and multiple cars, one of which has 5 pointed stars on its wheels. Another is being pulled by a horse, as in the 4 horses of the apocalypse or the horses pulling the chariot of Apollo the sun god. These help to confirm the interpretation of cars from the Pulp Fiction video. The song is called Kamikaze, and towards the end she repeats a verse in which she says, "We go 1, 2, 3 till the end of the world. We go 1, 2, 3 till the end of the world. We go on till we die, till we die." The title Kamikaze likely refers to humanity living recklessly, with no idea about the horrible disasters ahead. During the 2012 Super Bowl, they showed an apocalyptic commercial for the Chevy Silverado. It had some familiar themes. A man rides in a car with a dog, as in the dog star. There's a big boy statue, and we know big boy equals 33 from Pulp Fiction. There's something that resembles a shooting star. And, at the end of this car commercial, they show a box of Twinkies for some reason. Twinkies have been a part of some important symbolic movies, including Zombieland, Die Hard, and Ghostbusters. Wikipedia says the name Twinkies came from the word twinkle. The word twinkle is most famously used in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. The most important Masonic star is Sirius. Twinkies may be used to refer to this star. In 2017, Jose Cuervo put out an apocalyptic commercial called Last Days. Cuervo equals 33, and the commercial begins with running horses, as in the 4 horses of the apocalypse. The main actors dance to Elvis on a black and white checkerboard floor, a familiar Masonic symbol. We saw in the last video that dancing appears to be significant. In the middle of the commercial, a man who looks like a miner enters the bar. Miners plural equals 33, and mining is important symbolically because of the Masonic concept of digging for rough materials or metals, bringing them to the surface or the light, and turning them into the perfect ashlar or alchemical gold. They made a movie about the 33 trapped Chilean miners and called it the 33. They may be using a 33 product to send a message to those in the know. Steve Carell has been in a couple apocalyptic movies, probably because Carell equals 666. In Evan Almighty, God tells him to build an ark, because a flood is coming. The poster for Seeking a Friend for the End of the World shows Carell with a dog, as in Dog Star, and a meteorite that resembles a shooting star. Keira Knightley holds her records, which she awkwardly brings around with them throughout the movie. This is likely because records revolve, like the cycle of precession, and the most popular speed at which records turn is 33 1/3 RPMs. The 40-year-old virgin is not apocalyptic, but at the end of the movie, Carell has sex, uniting the masculine and feminine. Then, the cast sings "This is the dawning of the Age of Aquarius" for no apparent reason. Carell equals 666. And 666.666 times 3 is 2,000 years, the length of a zodiac age. They are singing about the start of a Zodiac Age. 9/11 was the symbolic dawn of the Age of Aquarius, 2,000 years from the birth of Jesus, or the start of the Age of Pisces. The Twin Towers have been merged into one World Trade, just as the masculine and feminine unite at the end of 40-year-old Virgin, beginning the Age of Aquarius. John Cusack's full name equals 33, and he starred in the 2012 movie, which was also about a great flood and the building of arks. Tickets for these arks are sold to elites for €1 billion. The poster for the movie shows a Tibetan man standing on top of a mountain, watching the approaching floodwaters. This may be similar to the scenario for which Denver Airport was built. Also, the poster says we were warned. This may mean we were warned by ancient texts and the Bible about the cycle of precession and biblical disasters. It may also mean the public has been warned by those in the know through movies like 2012. If you still doubt the existence of 33 symbolism, the use of symbolic actors, and the existence of symbolic movies that predict things like 9/11, you probably have not made it this far. But if you have, 32nd degree Freemason Robert W. Sullivan made some interesting comments in his book Cinema Symbolism too. Referring to the movie Escape from New York, he writes, Carpenter's film also employs gematria, the assignment of number values to letters to forge an occult relationship and or to convey an occult meaning and or agenda within the words or phrases. Later he writes, occult casting is when filmmakers employ a specific actor or actress because of a film or films they've appeared in, thereby esoterically investing the new film with that performance and its related themes and symbolism. Sullivan also recognizes 9/11 references in movies released prior to September 2001, although he naively states that this is caused by the collective unconscious. Sullivan also says, traditional Masonic symbols that mysteriously appear in film are the sun, the pentagram representing the Egyptian dog star Sirius qua Isis, all-seeing eyes, and masculine solar pyramids all have esoteric contextual meaning in most films. The lessons, allegorical emblems, and philosophies of both the Blue Lodge and High Degrees can also be found in film. This video is not meant to suggest that Drake was behind the building of Denver Airport. Rather, it is meant to show that the Masonic or secret society symbolism that is exhibited by many in the public eye and that is shown in multiple movies is related to the cycle of precession, the occult story of history, and the secret philosophy of those who run the world. This understanding of history includes the idea that global disasters return at certain points in the cycle, and this is likely the reason why a new Denver airport was built. The murals inside the airport tell this story as well. Drake and his symbolism give us some of the more obvious evidence that things like gematria are used to put coded messages in plain sight. This is why this video series was initially intended to start with Drake and end at Denver Airport. Drake as a male duck is important, but the use of the letters O, V, and X by Drake and friends, and his obsession with the number 6, show us once again that the gematria phenomenon is real, partly because names like OVOXO are fairly nonsensical without the understanding of the alphanumeric code. The question of what Drake actually knows about the Denver airport conspiracy is hard to answer. He may know exactly why it is there. Or, he may be familiar with secret society symbolism while remaining unaware of its implications. Or, he has little understanding of the symbols, because they are put there by those who run the recording industry, although complete ignorance is unlikely. Some may ask when the alleged disasters are coming. This is also difficult to answer. It could be in hundreds or thousands of years. Yet, the building of Denver Airport and the message on the Masonic plaque are troubling. The plaque says there is a time capsule underneath with messages for the people of Colorado in 2094. Does this mean the disasters will come before 2094? It is difficult for this robot voice to tell at this point. Also, we must not rule out the possibility that the global catastrophes will be man-made, a tool of the elite to solve the problem of overpopulation and to accelerate the move towards a new world order. If this is the case, elites would know the exact date of the global disasters. Let's remember that this theory is still wild speculation in relation to the mainstream worldview, but let's also remember that this video series all but proves the existence of secret messages in movies. And the story told by this symbolism leads us to the cycle of precession and apocalyptic times. Once again, the main symbols are 33, 666, 66, the dog star Sirius, ducks, the goddess, 9/11, the all-seeing eye, etc. The occult tells us that our sun is in a binary star system with Sirius, causing the 24,000-year-long precession of the equinoxes, the cycle of Zodiac Ages, or the Great Year. During the Golden Age, or the summertime of this Great Year, the arrival of a second sun causes humanity to blossom into beings of higher consciousness when the kundalini rises up the 33 vertebrae of the spine, activating the chakras and the all-seeing eye. 666 is the length of years of one decan, or 1/3 of a zodiac age. 9/11 was the symbolic Masonic or occult dawn of the Age of Aquarius, an important date on the calendar of the Great Year. As we have seen, symbols of this occult story are all around us,